Okay, you happy? Which mic? This mic? We got it. Okay. Hey, everybody. We are live on LinkedIn right now, and we're just solving a couple of technical issues. Luke's climbing over the furniture to sort out the studio, and it wouldn't be a live stream without technical issues, as it always is here at Best Practice. We do try to experiment and play with lots of different technology. So I'd like to welcome everybody. Have you hit go on YouTube? Yeah, I've got Vanessa watching it. So just we've got a whole bunch of people helping us. Okay, Vanessa's onto it. It's always a challenge, obviously. We got the amazing Michael Haynes joining us here today. We are live streaming. We're picking up all sorts of stuff, going left, right, and centre with technology. So I apologise if there's an echo. Let us know in the comments on LinkedIn if there's an echo, or the comments on YouTube, and we will continue to try to play with the audio streaming. But we've got people working from home helping us, and this COVID-19 thing thrown our studio into disarray. So if you are somebody who is running a small to medium enterprise and you're interested in thinking about how you can grow and get more customers, and that might be because you've had a decline in your revenue, it might be because you're flatlining and you're looking for ways to find to grow, or it might be that you're growing really quickly and you're busy, but you want to look for a different customer segment that's maybe more profitable, more efficient, more fun. We've got the amazing Michael Haynes here with us today. We're experimenting with a live stream Zoom interview live to LinkedIn to have this conversation. So if you're watching live on YouTube, let me know where you're watching from. If you're watching live from LinkedIn, let me know where you're watching from, and I'm getting the comments through. We will continue to work on the audio, and so we will obviously keep going. Let's send everybody on LinkedIn to YouTube because the LinkedIn Live is not working. So let's can the LinkedIn Live, and we'll go over to YouTube. So apologise to everybody, and we'll go from there. So I'm going to comment. Let's just fix this. To YouTube Live. Okay, what about now? Is there an echo now?
Yeah.
Is the echo still there? Because it could be that it was this device here. Is it fixed?
Yeah.
I fixed it. It was me. So just let me know if the audio is broken. How is the audio now? Sorry, Michael.
That's all right. Technology, gotta love it.
Okay. Vanessa, for those people watching on LinkedIn, use the... Okay, just cancel LinkedIn. It is now. It'll be this microphone.
No other input. I don't know why.
What about the phone that you're listening on? Is that going to make it an effect? Is that on mute? Because that audio...
Yeah. It's so quiet.
Okay. Hey, Vanessa, can you let me know how the YouTube audio is? Let's just pin LinkedIn. Well, this was an experiment. Is LinkedIn cancelled? Turned off?
Maybe. Let's make this camera actually look alright.
Okay, but have we got I can just go straight to YouTube from this machine?
Yeah, everything's alright.
Is LinkedIn off? Okay, let's get going. YouTube's fine. We'll fix the video. Luke's going to keep working to move the camera angle. So let me go again. If you are somebody who is an organization that is looking for improvement, if you're someone who's looking for an organization that's looking for improvement to your business-to-business strategy, if you are somebody who is looking for improvement of how you go to market and talk to your customers and accounts, then we've got the amazing Michael Haynes, who is bearing with us as we experiment with technology and something that's never been done before while everybody's working from home and we haven't got the whole team or the studio set up. So I apologize for the inconvenience in the technology. Michael, welcome aboard. I'm just going to grab the camera while Luke is sorting a few things out, and I'll just get this sorted out. So we'll do that, and we'll get this set up here. So go right ahead and fill us in on what's happening with you.
What's happening with me, Kobi? Well, I, like everyone else, am trying to navigate this new landscape and trying very much to practice what I preach in terms of getting an understanding of what's going on with SMEs. For those of you in the United States, SMBs, what's going on, what are their challenges, what are they trying to grapple with. So I've been doing a fair bit of social listening, so listening online to the likes of LinkedIn. There have been various SMB studies. So here, for example, in Australia, First Quadrant have been doing weekly pulse updates on SMEs by industry sectors, what's going on with them. There are similar organizations up in the US, which are also looking at the needs and requirements of SMBs. What I'm seeing is broadly, there's kind of almost like three buckets in terms from a business to business perspective. There are those that we're really trying to grapple with. How do I manage my current customers? What do I do with that? How do I go about, generating revenues? What should I be doing? Do I sell? Do I not sell? What should I do? And then there's the question about how to move forward, which for some organizations, it's, identifying new opportunities, whether because the industries there are in decline, they're looking for new opportunities. And then there are some which haven't really been adversely affected by all of this COVID, and they're looking to rise and really look to take off. So those are kind of the three broad areas, I guess, of concern and priorities with which what I'm seeing and observing in the SME space. I really think for irrespective, your starting point really has to be what I talk about all the time, which is listening. So you really need to be starting, for those of you that have a current customer base, you need to be getting onto the likes of Zoom and having those video conversations with the key stakeholders, because I've come across a lot of organizations where in the past 4 to 6 weeks, who you thought was on the buying committee, who you thought were those decision makers, those participants have changed, and in some cases it's been rather abruptly so. And so you need to be making sure you should be having calls with those decision makers, those stakeholders, because you need to find out where exactly their businesses are at, what exactly are their current priorities and challenges. So it's really important to have a meaningful discussion, getting on a face-to-face type technology platform like this, so you can start delving into some of that detail, and then really finding out what it is that your customers need. Because right now it may not necessarily be all about selling, and you need to be thinking broadly what your customers need across products, service and support. Is it financing options? And then there's another area where you really should be zeroing in terms of both helping and trying to move forward, is what are those decisions and priorities that business decision makers are grappling with, and where can you provide information, guidance, advice, tools and resources to help them progress through that. B2B, while it offers a lot of opportunity, typically that buying process has been somewhat complex because you've got multiple decision makers looking at multiple priorities, and they're trying to navigate how to move forward. Now we have, with this whole COVID environment, there's a lot of also lack of confidence in terms of they're unsure of what to do, how to move forward. So really a lot of what businesses are needing in terms of party to move forward is that guidance. Don't just bombard me with information, but give me some guidance, intelligence, advice to help me get an understanding of the direction that I need to take. So that is a really big area where I think a lot of organizations and SMEs can be really good to really help organizations move forward. So that's really the starting point to really get an understanding of that landscape. that's where I say it is really critical. Then you can start looking within your organization based on what it is your customers that you're going after or the ones you currently have. What are some of the things that you need to be looking at? Is it your product and service offering? Does it need to be modified long-term? Is it short-term? Service and support, what you can do around that information advice. So then you can start looking at different elements of your business in terms of where it's worthwhile for you, who to focus in on, what's worthwhile focusing on, and then how to move forward.
Okay, awesome. So just listening to what you're talking about there, I think for those of the people out there that have been following us for a while, everybody's moved obviously across to YouTube now. Comment and let me know where you're watching from. So Luke you can see Luke here in the background, solving their technology so that we can broadcast Zoom live to YouTube. And we were trying to broadcast to LinkedIn. It didn't work. I apologize for the technical issues today. So for those of you, and I can see some of the people watching, thanks for letting us know where you're watching from. It's obviously interesting watching, seeing from wherever I'm around the world. I think there's a lot of people obviously in the same boat, but just the high level, we're talking about listen, innovate, grow. And that's the name of Michael's book, which is fantastic. I'd encourage everybody to find yourself a copy of that, and maybe Vanessa can post a link to that on in fact, Michael, what's your favorite platform for someone to buy the book from? Is it Amazon or is it your website? What's your preference?
Okay, so on my website, they can get a free chapter, a couple free chapters download so they can get a sense of what the book is all about.
Yeah.
I recommend that they go onto Amazon because you can get it in physical form.
Great.
You can get it in Kindle form.
Great.
And it's accessible all around the world. So
perfect. So
Amazon is the place I would recommend.
Excellent. So if one of my team could post the link to the book on Amazon, please, in the comments on YouTube, and then we'll put it in the description of the video after the recording's finished. There we go. The link's up in the comments. And if you could also pop a link into Michael Haynes' website too, that would be fantastic. Could you do me a favor and shut those blinds so that so we got a lighting issue here now too. So in terms of listening, and I've been doing a lot of that. I've been trying to do a lot of one-on-one calls, lots of Zoom calls, talking to people. Tea with Kobi, we're broadcasting that. That'll come out on our social media. We're just editing it up. Some private coaching calls with people whose businesses are really in distress. I'm hearing that too. What I'm actually hearing is, and to the point that you were just discussing, is that the traditional product or service that you were selling 3 or 4 months ago has been disrupted. And I haven't heard of anybody who has said, we are selling exactly the same thing now. I'm sure it's out there. If it's breakfast cereal or if it's bread or if it's toilet paper, what's changed is the quantities. As a fixed product. I know that obviously restaurants in a lot of places where there's lockdown have effectively closed or they've pivoted to takeaway. With that process where there was a point there I just want to drill down on. You mentioned that the people that may have been on the buying committee in the business to business space. So I just want to preface this, that we're talking about business to business marketing and sales, and then obviously service work, revenue, if you like. I've noticed there's not one single person that I've talked to that hasn't been impacted. Even the businesses that are growing, and this one of our family businesses. I'm set up here in the boardroom of one of our family businesses, which is a big factory manufacturing here in Australia. That's a sheet metal factory. It's making the metal brackets for the sneeze guards at the checkouts in Woolworths. We've just worked all weekend. The team in the factory have worked all weekend. We've been working 7 days a week. We're doing 2 shifts, and we were just out having some lunch as a bit of a team lunch right before this call started, where the guys have been working really, really hard, and they're saying, we need a rest. We need a couple of days off. And we're saying, well, you can have a rest and take a couple of days off, but we can't guarantee you'll have a job when you come back, because we're going to put somebody else who wants to work, and there's a ton of people that want to work, and we're working very hard. And so, these people are saying, well, we need a rest. It's like, okay, you can take the rest, but we honestly, in the current climate, can't guarantee, if we bring a different casual in, that you can come back, so because we'll be bringing someone in who's not working and moving on. So everyone's working really hard. We're trying to look after people and that sort of stuff, but it's tough climate. You mentioned, I want to go back to this point about the buying committee. I think that some emergency contraction of decision-making and discretion has happened. That's certainly been the case in our business, where previously I wasn't the decision maker because I was delegating decisions. I'm now the decision maker. So can you comment on how the people watching might be able to verify how they can, go straight to the top or still do their research?
Okay, so it's not about necessarily going, it may or may not be going straight to the top. It's going to who is ever relevant. If you're doing SME to SME, it's probably going to be going to the top. But if you're dealing with mid-market, large organizations, it's going to be about making sure, are those still relevant? Are those decision makers still the same? So how you go about finding that out, it's going to be definitely any contacts you have internally. You can look for announcements, but from what I'm seeing, a lot of these announcements, a lot of these shifts, they may or may not be announced. In some cases, it has been a case of promotions and people moving to new opportunities. In other cases, it's people being let go. So it's leveraging your contacts, going on LinkedIn to see, and if you've got a good relationship, really now is the time to really, have, get on the phone to organize those meetings too. And it's not about having a sales call. This is about, having what some of my colleagues call the discovery call to find out what's going on with you, who now is in charge, has the remit in this particular area, finding out who that person is, who those people are, and what's important to them, because they may be holding off on purchasing, or their priorities may have changed because their requirements for their end users have changed. So you want to have those discussions so then you can understand, well, what does that mean in terms of the kinds of things that they're looking for and what they need. Because it seems as though right now that we're into May and that we're particularly for Australia, we're kind of coming out. We're starting to see a light at the end of the tunnel. There's a lot more thinking about moving forward. So a lot of businesses are needing assistance. Okay, how do we navigate whatever this new norm is? But it's really about, you can have conversations. Definitely jump on and do those. Going online, there's lots of LinkedIn, there's lots of information for you to find out what's happening in your industries, what's happening with people. But starting from those two components in terms of talking to your customers, talking to your potential prospects as well, is a really good point of, and having that meaningful half-hour, 40-minute conversation so that you can take in what's really going on and then circle in your team to say, well, what does this mean in terms of for these particular customers, accounts, what do they need, and then how do we go about moving forward and trying to service and support them.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I can validate that. So I just want to give everyone a couple of examples. In the work that I've been doing as a CEO and as a head of sales and marketing for our organization, the first thing I did was make as many phone calls, and I continue to make as many phone calls to my existing customer base as I can. And it's not just one, it might be 2 or 3 phone calls, and that's phone calls. So it's, hey, how you going? Been thinking about you, just want to check in and see you're okay. The next thing might be, hey, you want to hear a funny story? We did a whole bunch of strategic planning in January. We had a huge business conference in February, the 2020 Vision Business Summit. The amazing Michael Haynes and a bunch of other great speakers were speaking there. We had our strategic plan for 2020. And 2 weeks ago, I picked up the strategic plan and I said, there's a good place for it. I'm going to save it in the bin because it's just a complete write-off. So, that's met with a bit of humor with some of our clients are saying, yeah, we're the same. We did the strategic planning. We set our business plan for 2020. That's all out the window, in the bin, forget it. We're going to start again. So even where there was commitments to projects, if things return to some level of normal, and let me preface normal with right now I'm thinking about revenue. If revenue gets back to the levels that it was previously at, then some of those projects, if they're relevant, will continue. But I can't see our revenue and many other businesses' revenue getting back to previous or BC. We've got AC and BC, as John Schofield mentioned to me yesterday. I see he's watching in the views there on YouTube. Credit to John Schofield. Thank you for, before COVID and after COVID, BC and AC. So, I think that, from that perspective, business plans are out, strategies out. Businesses, there are still a few businesses at the bottom. Businesses that serve the bottom of the hierarchy of needs are still trading. Hardware stores in Australia like Bunnings, Walmart, for example, supermarkets like Coles and Woolworths, the grocery supermarkets, they're all at the bottom of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So my first piece of contextual commentary to people is to have a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs and look at the next industries to break out and as things recover will be the next level, which is social interaction. And for those people that have been in lockdown, most of the community's been in lockdown, the businesses that are in some form of social interaction, they will be the businesses, particularly where the more risk tolerant age groups go into group environments. I think you will see an explosion of things like music festivals and things like that have met their COVID, social distancing requirements. But it's those sort of interactivities where people can get together. And I noticed that here locally, where we are in New South Wales, in Sydney, Australia, a small relaxing of social distancing was allowed as of effective this coming Friday, which is you can have two adults over to your house for dinner. Or a visit. And so it's that 2-on-2 visiting, that's going to be allowed. So you can see already that we're coming up Maslow's hierarchy of needs from shelter and food and repairs to our nest to social. And so if you're starting to think about, well, my business is a wreck, it's a train wreck, maybe it will recover. But and I know there's lots of entrepreneurial type people out there thinking, well, what should I do? If you want to think about that, have a look at Maslow's hierarchy of needs, because we can't go back to social actualization where we're having an impact on the world and leaving a legacy and our amazing why. To a large extent, that's out the window. So the other thing that I'll quickly talk to people about here is that I try to call as many people as I can. And I was talking to somebody yesterday who's quite high up in government procurement, and they have got a lot of approved projects in the pipeline in Australia, and I know that from a stimulus package perspective, there's one thing to just hand out cash, which has been happening very quickly. Another is to actually stimulate the economy with projects, and government spending on infrastructure and construction is often the go-to. So for the people listening, if you have anything to do with commercial and government type construction or infrastructure, watch very closely what's happening, and please be mindful of what's about to happen. And certainly at a federal level in Australia, there is a big push on infrastructure because the projects are approved, they want the projects built, and they're going to fast track them. So.
And just to add to that, Kobi, so in addition to listening to customers, you need to be having a pulse on, if you're looking at new revenue opportunities, you need to be spending the time that we have at home and so forth to be looking to see what's happening in some of the potential other industry sectors, different markets, different industries, what's going on, because in certain sectors there are going to be opportunities as things are starting to move forward. So so being mindful and taking a look at what's going on, taking a look at some of the relevant market studies within, for example, like First Quadrant here in Australia is pumping out reports on a weekly basis, because there are sectors such as there are elements within, let's say, technology, biotech, telecommunications, transportation. There are industries for which there will be companies and components within them where they are going to be moving forward. There are going to be opportunities. So it's about looking at your customers as well, but it's also about looking at what's going on within your respective geographies and your related industries, your industry and related industries, to see what's going on, because there are opportunities out there in terms of, just by trying to adapt for the new norm, for example, is going to create opportunities for various kinds of companies. I've heard, for example, a signage company that is going to be in Canada is going to be kind of pivoting, and they're going to be doing a lot of things around communications and markers on grounds for airports, bus stations, and so forth. So they're making a shift because there are going to be new market industry needs. by virtue of moving forward and how we're moving forward. So it's about listening to your customers as well, but it's also about seeing what's going on in the economy across various industries and looking at your skill sets to see, well, where could there be opportunities for you to acquire new customers, provide your current offerings, modified offerings. So it's doing that, listening, having that pulse from both perspectives is really going to be quite important.
Yeah, so I think, if we follow the thread of the conversation, it's obviously listen, innovate, grow. Based on that conversation, if anyone's been watching, what I've been doing is we're getting a lot of requests for assistance, and so if you're on our email list, you've been receiving the templates that we've been sending out. Now, I appreciate that that's not necessarily relevant to you specifically in most cases, but certainly where ordinarily someone might ask us for a standard operating procedure for how to organize a company or to come and do an audit, when we sent out the search engine optimization guide, that was very well received. We sent out a business continuity plan template, 5,500 downloads of that document. So for us,
because that's to your point, Kobi, that's indicative of some of the market need that's going to be occurring out there. Going back to your point about SEO, the percentage of businesses, it's quite a staggering amount of SMEs that don't have a website. And SEO is critical. If you don't have SEO, if you're running a business and you don't have search engine optimization, there's no point of having a website, because that is so critical and important that you have search engine optimization. So it's about identifying those opportunities of what are the outcomes. What are the outcomes? What are the shifts that businesses are trying to make? And then looking to see how you can service and support that. And are there opportunities to create potential revenue opportunities either now or down the road? So it's having that pulse of seeing what's happening, the trends and the shifts and the needs, and then seeing how you can be doing it either by yourself or potentially collaborating, which is another form of innovation to deliver to market customer requirement.
Yeah, so that's exactly right. So that would be our small pivot for us. So you can go and see the evidence of that. So what I'm encouraging you guys to do, and Michael is encouraging you to do, for those of you that are listening, is listen to what's going on. You have to make the calls. It's a dumb idea to be a focus group of one. The idea in your head needs to be validated, and you need to go out and do the market research. And people are coming to me and saying, someone that's in my network might come to me and say, look, this is a great idea. What do you think about this business idea? And I'm like, don't ask me, ask your customers. I'm not a buyer. So
People, Kobi, need to be doing, I think they need, to your point, they need to be talking to their customers and getting a bit of a cross-section to get a view of what's going on, what they need. They need to be doing some social listening, looking at some of these reports about what's going on in their industries and so forth. And then they need to be setting up a virtual war room and getting on Zoom and having a workshop, bringing their teams together and saying, okay, what's happening? This is what our customers need. This is what we have. This is what we got, and start brainstorming and start looking at what they can do and delivering to some of those needs, which might not be immediately for a sell. It might be around content, providing some workshop, but you need to do that listening and then start doing that collaborating, some of that brainstorming to identify where are those opportunities to operate now and moving forward. Those are some of the tangible things that really, even with this online environment, let's put these collaboration tools to use and use them to be having dialogue with your customers and then having dialogue with your teams, and maybe even bringing some of the customers into those workshops to kind of start coming up with ideas of how you can innovate, pivot, I hate that term, and then see how you can move forward. Another point I just want to raise about this pivoting, because there's a lot going on in these, every article, Forbes, entrepreneurship, all these magazines are talking about pivot. You need to do this work about pivoting, but you need to pilot before you pivot.
Correct.
Do not make the full commitment, and this is something that's not being covered by a lot of these journals, and they're not covering it at all, but you need to do this due diligence, but you need to pilot. So if you come up with a new idea, let's say you're a professional services firm and you've come up with a lower end advisory offering, we'll test that with a few customers, see how that resonates, if that works, before you're making full commitment to resources and changing processes, procedures, org chart. So you want to make sure you pilot before you pivot, but you do need to do that upfront. Listening now is critical more than ever, both from a market view as well as from a customer level. And then bring your teams together and start that brainstorming collaboration to see what are the ideas of where you can, and be thinking broadly across the business. And you need to bring everyone from across the organization.
Correct.
Your marketing, sales, service and support, your account teams, your front line, everyone needs to be involved now to really be stepping up to fulfill what is supposed to be the true role, I believe, of marketing, which is to bring all elements of business together to see how we can deliver value, both for our business to survive and thrive, and also meet customer needs. So it's bringing everyone together and saying, what are the opportunities? What can we possibly test and do to move forward?
Yeah. So, and part of what I want to do in this conversation is I want to bring some solid value to you guys to have a listen. I brought Anna, who looks after finance. I brought Luke, Vanessa, Alexi, Emily from the operations team, Greg, our COO, and Woodsy, who looks after our tech. Those people come into the conversation. We haven't done it in a workshop. We've done it. I'm doing it. I'm the central pivot linchpin, if you like, at this point in time. We've done that work. It's continuing. And, and I think, and then it's also asking those people who are different business leaders, it's like Nick, the three business leaders are Nick, myself, and Woodsy. Woodsy looks after the recruitment business. I look after the whole business and certification. And then obviously Nick looks after Next Practice, the business coaching business. And it's really, those three people doing the same thing. The more people that can speak to customers, the better. I just want to put another P in the pilot pivot. It's pilot, pay, pivot. You have to get at least one, if not a dozen, financial transactions, invoices out, and payments before you pivot. So if you're thinking about an idea, if you come up with an idea, the first thing is not to go and register the domain name. No one gives a shit about domain names. I've been trying to get bpc.com for 16 years, and we got bestpractice.biz. Because it changed. And I got it quickly, we moved on. The last thing is the domain name. The first thing is the idea, create an invoice, and then go find someone's name for the top of the invoice. Get the money off them, deliver the thing, the product or the service. That is proof that somebody is going to prepare and they're looking for the benefit in their life that thing offers. So that is, I'm the rough and ready first person who is to rapid launch this. And we tried to rapid launch a product 4 weeks ago. No one bought it. We sent out some emails. We had a sketch of what the product and service was going to look like. We sent out a couple of emails, 0 sales, like 0. And for me, that is donked on the head with a hammer. It's dead. Forget about it. It's a fucking dumb idea. So you guys, thousands and thousands of ideas that everybody is having. 99.9% of the ideas that you are having are fucking dumb and they won't work. And right now, it's very important with your limited resources and any limited cash to protect that and say no to every single thing up front before you say, and if someone's pitching you an idea, you need to say no. Go and give it some more thought. No, go and give it some more thought. And then yourself, you need to say to yourself, if you have an idea, I sleep on it 2 days, 2 days and 2 walks before I even talk to him about an idea, because I need to mull that idea over a little bit more. And now more than ever, with precious limited resources and potential for brand damage in the market, is no. So if you have an idea, create an invoice. Leave the name at the top of the invoice blank. Write the product or the service on the invoice that you're proposing to sell, and then go and find somebody who will pay you for that thing before you create it. And that is the rapid launch sequence in a nutshell. And that is the pilot, pay, pivot, then you can roll it out. And that will be version 1, and you can obviously improve it, version 2, version 3, version 4. You can give the person that paid you for the first one before you even create it, give them the second version for free, for saying thank you. That's your friendly to try it. So I think that's really important in terms of this, the grow part of this conversation, which is there are thousands of ideas that people can have. And, Michael and I have got some ideas about how we can help you guys. And we've got an offer for you guys to actually have a one-on-one session. And so for those of you commenting, if you would like a one-on-one session with Michael, who can specifically give you context around your business, it's 30 minutes. in a Zoom call like this and you can talk about your business, the first person that I see comment on YouTube is the person I'm going to give that offer away to. So if you want a one-on-one session with Michael Haynes for 30 minutes to talk about your business and talking about thinking and listening, I always do think, listen, innovate, grow. The first person to comment on YouTube, and I'm watching the comments, will be the person that gets that 30-minute call. Because what Michael's going to do is going to work through that. Now, that is our example of is there a new service? We've got an idea. We're validating with you. Who would pay for that access? Okay, Stan Wall. There you go. Surprise, surprise. Let's give it to somebody else. So the next person after Stan. Okay, so Stuart Farquharson from Risk Talk. There he is. So I think you're already talking to Stuart, aren't you?
Yes.
Okay, next person. Give me another one. Next person up, Stan, Stuart, you're in there, into the comments. So, you know, I don't want to be too harsh on you guys, but I really want to give you guys some credit in terms of you really want to create that invoice. That's the first thing to do. So I'm waiting for the comment. You got, some of you guys there. Who we got? Right, we'll leave it there. You got the comments there. Let me know where you're watching from. Let me know that you're listening. We've got, there's 30 people there. There's a bit of debate going on in there. Okay, well, we'll sort that out as we go. But if you want that 30-minute session with Michael, this is us testing, is there an opportunity to run an online workshop? So we're looking at grouping a bunch of businesses together, and you're going, there you go, Nicholas Roma. You're the person that's commented next after Stan. So you're the person that's going to get that 30 minutes with Michael Haynes. If you can, Vanessa, if you can reach out to Nicholas Roma and organise that 30 minutes with Michael Haynes, that'd be great. So
I just want to jump in with regards to all of your feedback that you've been talking about. I 100% agree with. In terms of piloting, I implicitly believe pilot must incorporate pay. Yeah, because of the whole free, zero value. You've got to find paying customers. So I'm fully on board with that. Only thing I just want to add, as you're piloting, as you're starting to find those initial paying customers, which is great, you definitely want to use them and get as much feedback to understand what's good, what's not good, how could things be improved, so that you can make the subsequent iterations better. But before you pilot anything, in addition to thinking about it and all the things that you said, you do need to do some upfront listening and legwork. There should be some rationale based on data, based on some insight as to why you're coming up with this idea. I don't believe it's good enough just because you thought of an idea. There needs to be some gate based on, okay, well, what's happening in that particular industry with those particular customers. There needs to be some rigor into this. Yes, there needs to be a bit of creativity and innovation, but it should I'm not into pie of the sky. There needs to be some rigor based on market customer needs as to why this is an idea that you potentially might want to put some resources to. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Other thing I want to call out is, in addition, as part of your business innovating, because in order to move forward right now, everyone's going to have to, I call it business innovation, because you may not necessarily be pivoting, but even how, for example, you do your marketing, you might have been doing all face-to-face events, you're going to have to come up with a new strategy now to still get your message out there. So it's about thinking across your business in its entirety. What are some of the different things that you may need to be doing? Do you need to improve your process? Do you need faster turnaround time to provide the raw materials to those that are making goods and services that are very much in high demand? So it's really about thinking around across your business. Product and service offerings will be one element, but there could be other elements that you may have to revisit in order to stay current and relevant. Those of you that do have current customers, you may have to modify what you're doing to meet their end customer needs if you want them as that current ongoing client. So it's not just around new revenue opportunities, new products and services. It is it's how you are delivering with your current customers and accounts that chances are you may have to change because they may have different requirements as well. So you have to think about it holistically from both perspectives.
Yeah, I agree. So we've got about 10 more minutes on the clock, a little bit more than 10 minutes on the clock. I'll just answer. Now's the time to ask some questions. So if you want to ask some questions, just jump onto the live chat the chat box there on YouTube. So just quick hellos to a few people. Michael Desai, g'day. John Schofield, Myra, Stuart, Stan, a whole bunch of people there watching. Good to have you guys with us today. Just to answer your question, John Schofield, and anybody else who has got questions, what comes after listening? I'll get to your question in a second, Stuart. John, it's listen very carefully to collect data, and listening is also Google Trends. So you go to Google Trends, that's listening. Go to Instagram, that's listening. Go to Facebook, that's listening. Have a look at the hashtags trending. Have a look at LinkedIn. Look at the LinkedIn newsfeed. All that's listening. So it's doing the market research, doing the validation in the market, not being a focus group of one.
Industry associations as
Correct.
well. So your industry professional association, going onto their website, what are your industry association, your professional groups, what are they telling you what's going on? Going on, looking at your LinkedIn feed, what's going on that's relevant to your world, your customers, your buyers. It doesn't have to be fully exhaustive, but you do want to have a sense and of a pulse of what are the priorities within your industry, your customer, what are the priorities, concerns, and challenges that they have right now and will in the short term. You want to have a sense of that and then start liaising within your teams as to what does that mean across product, service, and support, customer service levels, the whole, and then start looking across your business in terms of what are the requirements and how you might be able to deliver to those. It's listen, innovate, grow, and right now with COVID-19, it's no different to any other challenge. And I just want to show you an example that this is my car key, and the amazing benefit that this gives me in life is it's for a Toyota Land Cruiser. I put this in my pocket, and I don't need to put a car key in the door. I can have things in my hands, and the benefit I get is the flexibility of being able to get in and out of my car. And when the key is in proximity to the car unlocks itself, and obviously I can just press a start button. So that is an innovation from 5 or 6 years ago that is exactly the same. So they listened to the market, and the market said, it's a hassle for me to get my key out when I've got my hands full and unlock my car. So listening to the market, and they came up with a solution. Now, the customers didn't say, give me keyless entry to my car. The customers said, it's frustrating for me pulling my key out. So it's up to you to think about the benefits that people want or the challenges that they have, and start to help them get what they want out of life. They want their life to be easier, frictionless. So if you're listening to your customers and your customers are talking about friction in the process of your existing service, what friction can you remove from the interface between you and your customer? Friction's a key word. So listen for friction, and then thinking about friction. And so we listen to our friction with our customers. Payment's a friction point. Can we make payment easier? Can we move it to monthly direct debit? That a lot of our customers have said, yeah, that'd be great. If you can move to monthly direct debit, we sign off on it and it's set for 3 years and we can forget about it. So we're madly trying to build a project where we can change our payment with our customers to direct debit that's set and forget and automated for a 3-year contract. And they're not going to get ripped off because it's exactly the same every month for a 3-year period. So I want you to think about, innovation does not necessarily mean changing your product or service. It could be a component to a process improvement. So, okay, let me get to these questions. Stuart, thanks for your question. What's the best way to get your pitch meeting off to a great start? Right now, having a pitch meeting shouldn't be the priority unless you're a startup. Right now, it's not about having the pitch. It is really finding out what it is that your customers or your prospective customers are really needing. Because right now, there are kind of 3 broad things. I've been doing a lot of reading and looking to what the gurus are. There's 3 broad things that really business customers are looking for. They're looking for a lot of guidance as to what the heck to do to move forward. They're looking for actionable solutions to help them move forward. And they also are often looking for ways to be able to connect with others that can help them meet their requirements and how they're moving forward. So in terms of very broad level, in terms of the kinds of things, it's really starting from that point. How can you add value? How can you be of assistance in really providing that kind of guidance and solutions to really help businesses moving forward? That's where you need to be focusing. And again, as you just talked about, Kobi, looking across the business. So it's not just your products and services, it's how you deliver your processes, your systems, the information and guidance and support, your service levels, the channels that you use. You want to be looking across all of those things. What across those elements are where your customers and or prospects are going to be having challenges and or needs because of how they're moving forward. That needs to be the focal point first. Going into any meetings now, like I said, unless you're a startup going to a VC, going into any prospect now and coming in with a very sales approach is a recipe for disaster.
Yeah.
Because right now, business owners are starting to think moving forward, but they're trying to figure out how to navigate, and they want to have certainty when they make their decisions. Because right now, COVID has kind of created a bit of lack of confidence in terms of what the heck we do. So by providing information, intelligence, tools, resources to help them navigate and give them confidence in making decisions, that's really very much in a strong way how you're going to be moving forward. So it's around guidance, actionable solutions, facilitating those connections. It's really thinking from that premise first, but going in and making the pitch will be a recipe for disaster. Because that's not where we're at. That's not where most businesses are at right now.
Yeah, so Stuart, I got an answer for your question. How do you get your pitch meeting off to a great start? That's the question. The pitch meeting needs to be a second meeting after a first meeting. And in your first meeting, you need to ask no less than 100 questions. So the best way to get your pitch meeting off to a great start is to ensure that the meeting before it, that you asked no less than 100 questions around massive information gathering. So when you start your pitch meeting, it will start with, so I understand that you have a problem with this, and I understand that you have a problem with this, and I understand that you want to achieve this, and I understand you have an objective to do this, and I understand that you have a problem with this, and I understand that you have a challenge with this, and I understand this, and I understand this, and I understand this, and I understand this, and you're going to say that 100 times for 100 sentences. Now, I've thought about all that, and I think I have a solution to all of those things. Would you like to hear about it? I have a solution. It can help you get this and this and this and this and this. It can help solve this and this and this and this and this. And the way that we do that is this. Would you like to hear about it? Yes or no? So the pitch is not show up and throw up. If you are showing up and throwing up, and you are not doing, if you were to divide your sales process into 3 parts, your pitch is the middle part, which is less than 30%. In fact, it's the end of the middle 30%, and 30% of your time must be spent on massive information gathering. So it's massive information gathering to ethically validate that they have the challenges that you seek to solve, that you ethically validate that they are the people that you seek to serve, and then the deal will go closed. I guarantee it. And the biggest mistake that people are making is showing up and throwing up and just pitch, fail, pitch, fail, pitch, fail, pitch, fail. I've been doing this. I've been selling for 20 years. And it's only in the last 2 years that I've really started to understand how to qualify the deals out and to stop people wasting it. You are wasting your time. When you're pitching, you are absolutely confident that you can solve their problems because you asked them what their problems are. You didn't guess, no assumptions. My lawyer always says to me, never assume. So there are absolutely no assumptions. You have validated that they meet the criteria. Now then, it would be absolutely unethical of you to not solve their problems. So your pitch then, in terms of setting up for a successful pitch meeting, is you are going in, and it would be absolutely unethical of you not to give them your thing for free because their problems are so bad and your solution is so good. Now, then it's just a case of working out the commercials. You want your customer to feel like they are stealing from you. And that is about massive value. So when value exceeds price, cash flows downhill. When price exceeds value, nothing happens. And so every time that you are failing on a deal or failing on a pitch, your value is way lower than your price. And that's the reality. So that is on you for being a better communicator. And being a better communicator is about finding out all of the information up front before you even bother to waste your breath on your pitch. So your sales process should always be 2 meetings. If you said 2 meetings, now Michael and I would agree that it's 1,000 conversations.
It may take a lot more than that.
Correct. But for the example of the exercise, dividing your sales, the line, the single line straight syntax, if you like, into 3 parts, a minimum of 30% in research and specific research on that client, a minimum, and we're talking about business to business here. We're not just talking about selling, cornflakes and Woolworths. Business to business, these are all the challenges. I understand this about you, and you. Now, Stuart, and I understand your business, if you're trying to move to an online business, your website has to do that job. If you are someone who's got a problem with compliance, if you are a business that has a challenge with your workforce, if you are a business that's struggling with forms and paperwork, if you are a business that's struggling with maintaining records to demonstrate compliance, if you are a business that's looking for process efficiencies, if you are a business that's working in high-risk industries, if you're a business that's working in mining or construction, if you're a business that's working with lots of guys in a mobile workforce, then listen up. I think I've got a solution that can help you with your OH&S compliance requirements. Hi, my name's Stuart Farquharson. I represent Risk Talk. We've got this great online voice tech app. Your website and your videos are designed to do that. And so then when you go in to do your pitch, you've already filtered the people out because they're not the people that meet the if you're this, if you're this, if you're this. So, and I did that, although our technology let us down. If you're somebody who's running a small to medium-sized enterprise, if you're somebody who is trying to work out how to scale and grow your business, if you're somebody who's working in business to business, then what we're discussing today is for you. Hi, my name's Kobi Simmat. This is Michael Haynes. I'd like to introduce you to our webinar. That is the script for the beginning of this presentation. So in terms of those scripts, that's what I want you to listen to very carefully, because from the listening that Michael is talking about, you create the script, which is if you are this, if you are this, if you have this problem, if you have this problem, if you have this problem, if you have this challenge, if you want this benefit, if you have this goal, if you have this objective, then, hi, I'd like to introduce myself. I think I have an answer to your questions. So that is the how to set yourself up for the winning script. Now, in terms of the pitch, your pitch should be 5 minutes. Hey, you want to check out my solution? It satisfies all those problems. Then it's pretty straightforward because you say, here is how my solution gives you the benefit this benefit you're looking for. Here is how my solution gives you this answer to your frustration. Here is how my solution or my thing, my product, my service, my software gives you access to this. Here is how my thing does this. It's not feature 1, feature 2, feature 3, feature 4, feature 5. It is, here's how this gives you that benefit. Here's how this gives you that benefit. Here's how this gives you that benefit. That's your pitch. So setting up for your pitch, that's the way forward. Let me just have, Michael, I've got a couple more questions there. Stan Wall, how important is it to understand the difference between the buyer and the customer?
Well, it is, okay, the customer is the organization, the buyer are the individuals, those who are involved in the decision making. So, and this becomes, so your customer would be, we'll use you, Kobi, best practice. Best practice would be the customer. The customer would be yourself, let's say, Woodsy, and it's you need to understand the buyers, because the buyers, those who make the decision whether or not they're going to buy, you need to know who those people are, because they will have specific priorities in terms of what's important to them. They will have specific buying requirements, and there will be specific things that they may want to look at and or do as part of their buying process. Because in B2B, there are always, even if it's SME to SME, there is always at least one other person that will be involved in buying. So you have to know who are the individuals. Understanding the business, the organization, the customer level is not enough. You need to know who's involved, because they will come at things at certain angles. CFO may be all around the financials. You may have someone in terms of risk who wants to tell me everything that can go wrong with your technology solution and how does it meet our work. So you have to know who are all those people that have to give those ticks and sign-offs as part of the approval process, what's important to them, because you have to meet those requirements to get across the line.
Okay, we're really tight for time. Kylie Baker, thank you very much for your kind words. I appreciate that. Now, I have a question for everybody. What Michael and I are exploring is, because of the constraints of everybody meeting everybody, we are offering the opportunity to join a workshop. It'll be in Zoom in this environment. We're looking at a group workshop where we can actually do a deep dive and we can give you specific advice on your script, your marketing, your research, your pitches, your commentary, who to approach, live LinkedIn searches of your marketplace, specific names of people to approach and talk to, show you how to set up the processes to do the listening, to set up the processes to build the scripts, to set up the process to approach the people, to set up the processes to consider the innovation processes in your organization, and to set up the training programs to train you as the leader of sales and marketing in your organization and or the people that may be part of that. So there's a couple of requests. The first is if you could go to bestpractice.biz and there's a subscribe button and enter your email address. There's a bunch of people that are already obviously on our email list, and we're going to send out an invitation. We're doing a bit of a survey to see who would like to be invited to be included in that session. So we're going to run a short session where we're going to actually do a deep dive on the group, and we'll have everybody live, and we'll be sharing so you can learn from each other, and equally we will guide that conversation. We will then be moving into a fee for service to give you access to us. So there's two more steps in that process. The next step is if you would like to be invited into a group where you can have quick specific discussions about your business. Michael is doing one. Obviously, we've got a winner there. Vanessa's going to handle that for a one-on-one with Michael. The next step is to actually run a group session so we can do a deep dive on your organizations and help you, with a view then to starting to get Michael's retained services ramped up under obviously our banner. He's coming in to assist us with that. We want to give you guys some access to Michael Haynes, and that'll be a fee for service. So that is obviously the process here. I'm being open and honest with you guys. We're going to keep doing this very generic content. We'll keep talking about it. But what we can do is we can help you with the very specifics about the growth and development of your organization. So if you are someone that meets that criteria, if you're an organization who really wants to refine your marketing and then sales process, and you're somebody who wants to refine your sales and business development process to then have measurable improvements to the revenue that you bring in and improvements to the marketplaces that you access, then this is something to reach out to us for, because that is obviously what we're doing here. We're going to keep doing these webinars. I'm going to keep doing the free content. You can keep consuming that. But if you really want to get the contextual support where we give you the very specific advice from our perspective, then let us know. So a couple of things for everybody watching, please hit that bestpractice.biz website and scroll down and hit subscribe so that you're on the email list and you get the invitations. And then let us know if you'd like to reach out to us. So you can get to me, Kobi, K-O-B-I, at bestpractice.biz. You can reach out to me, and that's my personal email address. Not a very big group, so I'm going to give that email address out. There's obviously a marketing email address, kobi.simmat@bestpractice.biz. You can get to me that way as well. The team monitor that account, but you can reach out to us. Now, Michael, where do people follow you? They can obviously find you on what platforms?
Oh, you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm there all the time, probably far too much. So you can find me on LinkedIn. I'm putting out lots of content there. Connect with me on LinkedIn. And then you can also just drop me an email at info@listeninnovategrow.com.
Excellent. So info@listeninnovategrow.com is Michael's email address to reach out to him. We'll send an invitation out to the email list. I apologize for the LinkedIn issues earlier for you guys. So we're going to solve that. I would suspect that we'll try to rerun this session in the next couple of days with a better tech so that you guys can watch on LinkedIn. So do me a favor, hit that like button above the video there. There's the big thumbs up. So hit the like button if you really enjoyed this content. I would appreciate if there's people that need to hear these messages in your organization, please share this video. It's been recorded. It's been saved on our YouTube channel. We've recorded the Zoom, so we're going to edit that up. And we'll broadcast this session live on LinkedIn. So if you see it come up on LinkedIn, it's going to be a recording that we'll broadcast through Wirecast. So please do me a favor and share that. So it's so that if there are sales and marketing people in your organization or friends of yours or people in your network that need to hear these messages because they need to grow their businesses, then please hit that share button. Show us some love so that we can get exposure out there and help people. So you know we love helping people. That's what we're here to do. So hit that like button for me. I can see those likes going up already. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button to the Best Practice TV YouTube channel and turn on the little bell. Right beside the subscribe button, there's a bell. Hit the notifications and turn that on so that you get notified when we do go live. And I promise you, we're working hard to get our studio reset here at our new address over the next couple of weeks. It's tough with the social distancing, getting everything going. So Michael, I really appreciate your time. I really appreciate your assistance. And more than anything, I appreciate your patience working with my hectic life and schedule and the chaos that I create because I'm trying to do too many things at once.
It's all good.
Cancelled meetings and changed emails and changed times and everything. I really appreciate your patience. So Stan Wall, gold as always. Looking forward to being part of the group, and thank you, Kobi and Michael. Stan Wall, always appreciate your support and sharing everything. So please, if there's a marketing person or a salesperson in your organization that needs to hear these messages, please share the content and share the comments, and we'll get those invitations out to everybody. Okay, Luke, I think we are good to go. If you haven't checked us out already, check us out on TikTok. I'd encourage everybody to go and check out TikTok and the Kobi Simmat profile on TikTok. We're getting lots of traction there. There's more subscribers on TikTok than anywhere else on the planet, and it's just an indication that the world is changing and the population and users of TikTok is the average age of a TikTok user is increasing very, very quickly. Okay, thanks, John. Thanks, Kylie. Thanks, Mashan, LaRue. Let me know where you guys are watching from. If you're watching this after the live event, still keep commenting because we get to see all those comments in our YouTube inbox. Smash that like button, hit the subscribe button. And if I don't see you out and about, which I probably won't because I'm in lockdown, I'll definitely see you right here next time on Best Practice TV. And you can check out Michael Haynes on his LinkedIn profile. So go and search Michael Haynes on LinkedIn right now and follow his account. Okay, Michael, that's a wrap.
All right, talk to you.
Okay, roll the bloopers. All right, we're done.